Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Geoff, and it's a little different of a look, a lot different of a look. Alongside me, for real this time, is Max there, everybody. I'll be in and out. This is obviously the Sacrifice pre-show. We're going to talk a little about the hot topics going on this week, and then go into our discussion right before Sacrifice starts, and our predictions and interesting different tidbits. Obviously, you see the man, the myth, the legend, that is the Mr. Impact Log, Craig there. Craig, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Looking forward to this pay-per-view, kind of.
Yeah, we're making.
Bit nervous.
And then down below him is the Misery Eater 101. It's Cody, everybody. What's up, Cody? 101. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be here.
All right. We have sound.
All right. You see us here. We'll be joined by Lucha in that big space there that's missing. He'll join us in a little bit. Hey, what's going on? Diamond Villains are in the building. What's up? We're gonna pass it off to Craig. Give Lucha a couple seconds to get ready, or eat his birthday cake, or whatever the hell is going on.
Happy birthday, Lucha.
But either way, we're hyped for Sacrifice. We're ready to go. We're gonna play a quick, small commercial. You might have saw pop up yesterday. It was the ABCs of if you're teaching your kids to impact. That's what we make here. Why? Come here, Ellie. Because of this little nugget, I'll be in and out and all around.
She's filling in for Lucha right now. So she's going to give us her impact takes.
She has better takes than I do, so it's not saying much. But all right, guys, we're going to watch this commercial, and we'll be right back with some hot topics.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
All right, there's our ABC video. We're here. Obviously, as Cody pointed out yesterday, they're not in alphabetical order per se. But they use their gimmicks. It's fun. I mean, it's in alphabetical order, just in a different.
Yeah, it's a different alphabet.
Impact.
We need to think one for Z.
Hey, what's going on?
It's the
All
impact.
right. So, as we wait for Lucha, we can start talking over the basic things. I'll pass it to Craig. Let Craig do his normal plugs and all that jazz, and then we'll get right to it.
Yes, it's me, it's M.I.B. Craig, aka Mr. Impact Blog. And if you don't know by now, we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, at TNAIW channel. We have coming up, possibly a game show coming up. I host a new show, which will be every Monday, which is, if I can remember the name,
Nominated
State
for
of
an Emmy.
Impact. There we go. The State of Impact. Yeah, where I run down everything that goes on in Impact and what nonsense we have for you here. And obviously the podcast every week. We're now on Sounder, so you can listen to us there. So that's pretty much all bases covered. YouTube, subscribe to us, follow us here. That's it covered for another week. So without any further ado, let's go into the hot topics. One less than normal, but we're starting off with Christian, All Elite. Feelings and thoughts. Were we thinking he was going to come to Impact, or
Cody, I'll let you start with that one.
Christian Cage in AEW. Yeah, I saw it coming. I just didn't see how it would play out, but he hasn't said one word lately. I watched AEW on Wednesday. I heard what he did on Sunday. He didn't say one word, but he has his eyes set on Kenny Omega. So the chances of him ever working with Impact again, I want to say is not. He seems too focused on AEW's championship than anything else. It was pretty cool to hear.
So I agree that he's probably going to be primarily a part of AEW. But I do think that there's a chance that he does do similar to how Kenny Omega shows up on Impact. I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Cage comes on as well from time to time. He may be on there more often just because of his relationship with Impact. It makes sense for him to be on there and him to do stuff. So if they're actually doing a talent exchange, I feel like he's one of the key people that would be there. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, so he keeps doing that thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, no. So I'll pop in time to time and say my piece, and then book it before you guys can criticize it. But with Christian, no, I agree in the sense that right now he's definitely AEW. The conspiracy theorist in me still says that Impact has been dropping tidbits about Christian for past few months, so it just seems a little too coincidental. There's a lot of rumors of him getting the Hall of Fame now, which I'm not a big fan of either. Yeah, Impact Hall of Fame at some point for sure. I think the one thing about the Impact Hall of Fame that I really do love is that the 1 a year thing could maybe grow a little bit now that we have kind of open doors, so we can get
Kurt Angle?
No, Kurt Angle's already in it. The Daniels and the Kazarians and those people that we didn't have access to prior. So I think it's a little too early for that for him. But I just in my heart of hearts, I want him and Scott D'Amore to be part of something, some kind of Canadian. There's a lot of Canadians invading this, by the way. We're looking at this as AEW and Impact. But look at the people in charge. Even Kenny Omega and Callis and Scott and it goes Jericho. I don't know. Maybe there's a bigger thing here.
A bigger Canadian.
A bigger Canadian.
I don't know. The Canadian Underground. Sound issues.
Oh wait, our sound issues or AEW sound issues?
Yeah, I don't know. That could be. If we're having sound issues, it very well could be because AEW is the ones producing this episode. So we've actually are taking their money. So we are having sound issues. All right.
Kenny Omega can't build a stream
see if you can.
for shit. Can't build a stream for shit.
Yeah, can't believe. Well, what's funny was you guys got hacked. We'll figure it out. It might be my daughter being loud. I don't know. The thing that I thought was funny was, obviously they played it off as we were the reason or we paid for the explosion or whatever stupid thing they wanted to say.
They said Impact.
What's that?
It was the Impact paid for the bomb. That was the line.
Yeah. Well, I think Shaq hacked the show. No, the audio was shit on AEW as well. So did we pay for the audio? And obviously that joke's built in with us, but it gets us back on. I know we're kind of going full circle here, but with the AEW partnership, I said it last week. I didn't like the tone of the new videos because what it was saying was all those previous weeks we took it on the chin. We just ate it, and we're just going to eat it and say, oh yeah, we're buddies now. That's not how it should be. So I'm glad they took a dig here, so at least we could get back to the not being frenemies, but more enemies, which is what we should be to make this thing work. Because even though WWE might be the focal point or the common denominator here, we're not going to invade WWE. So, there's my tip on that. I know I went kind of left field, but it kind of all plays in the same thing.
Yeah. So,
child.
Yes.
Yeah.
They hear in the background.
Yeah, we're not hacked. It's just my child going crazy. She's super stoked for Sacrifice.
Because I hear
This is-
everybody on
this-
everything, or at least on mine. And I can hear Craig.
Next is Next is a simple question. All Ego, All Elite, do we give a shiny shit.
I mean,
I don't.
Good, Jeff.
Craig, or Cody, you want to start on that? Or Craig, you got to get your opinion on that.
Okay. Simply, no, I couldn't. The writing was on the wall for a long time. He was going to AEW. I don't particularly care if he's. If his Impact put up with a lot of crap from Ethan Page, and they pushed him and made him tag team champion because of length of reign. I just hope AEW could go on all day, but criticism very well. The fans don't, the company doesn't. If they have to deal with the stuff that Impact had to deal with Ethan Page, I can't sit that very long. Maybe I'm being bitter, but I can't sit that for too long.
Yeah. You want to go on Ethan Page?
To me, like, I was super excited when he was in Impact and he was in the tag team. I thought if he was going to do, like if he was going to go on his own in Impact, I was super excited about it. And then he had the Mortal Kombat match. I was like, oh, that was a great way to end everything. And then he was like, oh, this match was horrible. And his attitude with the way they presented that match made me lose so much respect for him. Because for some reason he was thinking that this comedic, funny match was supposed to be some type of video masterpiece or something. Like, I want to say it was a work, but I can't think it is. Like, I feel like he was upset about that. So to me, I'm just kind of like meh at this point.
We gotta wait to see how it plays out. I still think it's a work with Ethan Page, just because, as Max was saying, those things don't add up. You say what you will, be upset with that he went there, or if he had his eyes on it the whole time. But there has to be. There doesn't have to be. It's just it says something that a lot of our roster is that has been part of Impact is there. I mean, from the booth to the truck to backstage, a lot of these, and to the wrestlers. It just seems like there's too much brewing for it not to be something bigger, especially someone who loves TNA like Ethan Page. But
yeah, I work thing and all that, but he came out to his own themed music, his own background, his everything that he created. Vlog. He seemed more about pro AEW than anything else, and he said he hasn't wrestled in 4 months. Last time he was on TV was in 4 months, and I was like, wait, doesn't make sense. But I don't know. I'm excited for him. I'm glad to see he's back on social media. I was really sad that he was gone for a while. I'm like, I can understand people have hatred for what he did and what he said, but again, it's the wrestling business. We can't fault people for the idea of. Like, we have no idea what went down or what actually happened or what's the work and what's not. So from now on, I'm still a fan of it. I watched on Wednesday because Ethan Page was on TV. I looked up the highlights on Revolution because Ethan Page was on TV.
Right.
So I'm still a fan regardless of everything. Do I give a crap? That's debatable.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
It's I really don't care.
Oh man.
Yeah, moving on.
I think he's an asset, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah, he's definitely an asset.
Yeah.
He's gonna do videos for AEW now, so they're gonna get more reach.
Yeah.
And all that shit.
He's a smart businessman, and he knows how to promote himself. Clues in his nickname. All ego. Clues in there.
Hey.
All clues in there.
We're all an extension of ourselves, right? Isn't that what they say? Or the wrestlers, excuse me, yeah. When they hit their peak there. All right, so we're approaching the 7 o'clock mark. Craig, if you want to keep going with these, we'll get right at the 7 o'clock hour. We're kind of stalling for Lucha, and then we'll go into our predictions and all of that jazz and get hyped for tonight. All that jazz.
All that jazz.
That's simple enough. Title unification match. Is it too early? How we feel?
Okay, see, here's the thing about this. Yes, it needs to happen, but Is it too soon for Moose and Rich to have it? Maybe, because at the end of the day, you see them at Rebellion, and one person has to lose. I mean, it's no doubt Kenny's going to win, so someone has to look weak.
Right.
So, who looked weak before? Rich Swann. Rich Swann was pinned at Hard to Kill.
Right.
So, this unification match is probably going to go to Rich Swann. Rich is going to lose to Kenny Omega. Moose is going to come out to Rich saying, "You lost. Now it's my turn. Let's show you how a real champ is done." And then we'll get it some down at Slammiversary or Battle for Glory or whatever views next.
I like that. I do. And the early thing is, it's all relative, right? It depends on what they have planned past this. Now, we could see the effect of this partnership on our booking, and that doesn't mean like FinJuice is here and yada yada, private party. The booking is, we are usually, Impact has clear storylines, thought out storylines that take a long time to develop, and all of these great writing that we're not seeing as much from Impact. And that's not a slight on them. I really think they probably had to change the course of their plans for multiple times as this partnership develops and they kind of figure out and work it out. And with that being said, if this is the direction they're going, I can't see. I really hope there's a clear winner. Let me start that, and I know we'll jump to it eventually when we talk about the main event. But I wouldn't mind someone winning tonight, preferably Moose, even though unfortunately that means he would probably.
But then Moose would have to lose to Kenny.
Right. So why not have Rich do it twice? I guess. But I would prefer. Who is it? Kota Ibushi? Ibushi. So their champion of New Japan, our champion of Impact and TNA, and then their champion of AEW, triple threat at ours, a mutual pay-per-view, whatever it may be. It needs to go somewhere, because this is where I draw the line. I'm very big on letting AEW in this partnership do its thing, because we don't know. As Cody said, we don't know what happens. We don't know what they have planned or who's coming in or what the deal is to make us look good or better or whatever. But if we have the three of us there, or the three champions there, then you really have a world's champion, which the NWA has claimed to be, obviously, since the beginning of time. So is a world's champion, I think, to me, the question that I need to answer to say if this is too soon or not. And I think me and Max were talking off camera. Kenny Omega is probably the biggest star outside of WWE, I feel like, or at least it doesn't have that connection to WWE. So it makes sense for him to be that belt collector and that world's champion, because one, it's going to be a 5-star match no matter what, even if he breaks his leg in the first 10 seconds, because it's just that Meltzer rub. But also he is a wrestling, I don't want to say God, but he can go. So who would we want to represent? Now, on the other hand, Moose, I know he's in the midst of, we don't know if he's signing or whatever the deal is, and he's not really a champion. But Moose, I think, is stepping up to big things.
I think he's gonna be crowned a champion at the end of at Bound for Glory or Slammiversary.
Yeah,
it makes it much louder, and it makes that pay-per-view much louder.
Okay, so I'm jumping back in as I was playing with the tiny one. So, I mean, my thoughts on the unification. I know we'll go over this more probably when we actually talk about the match. But although Geoff and I talked about it, I'd love to see Ibushi come in. I'd love to see the 3-way for the world title. But I think that there's 2 ways that it actually can play out well. One is Rich wins and then loses clean to Kenny, and then Moose ends up being Impact's savior. The other is Moose wins, and whoever loses between him and Kenny loses because of interference. And then even the loser still looks strong because, let's just say, for example, Anderson and Gallows interfere and help Kenny beat Moose. Well, Moxley lost to Kenny because of interference 2 or 3 times. He doesn't look weak because of it. So if nobody else can beat Kenny and the Good Brothers, what makes anybody think that Moose is going to? So Moose still looks strong. You have Kenny then defend the Impact title twice, and then Moose gets a one-on-one in whether it's lockdown or some type of steel cage match to say, hey, it's me versus you, no interference, and then he can win back the title. The same would go as if Moose beats Kenny. He wins because of interference. He then defends the AEW title one or two times to show, hey, I still deserve this. I'm still a rightful champion. And then he can lose it back to Kenny or Moxley or somebody else. So I think those are the two ways that the unification can go with, in the end, both parties coming out looking good. Obviously, the worst case scenario is Moose wins tonight and then Kenny just steamrolls him. And then it's just like, well, shit, Impact's just the second, tier org. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I've definitely something to say when we get to the match, because But moving on quickly to the final one, should be short and sweet. Jon Moxley blaming Impact for the explosion. As Geoff touched on it, what's your thoughts on it? Is it stupid? Is it smart? What do you think on it?
I think it's one of those smart digs. Like, we make those tiny little shots at AEW, or we make those tiny little shots at WWE that don't really mean anything, just fun little fan service shots. Is it disrespectful? No. Is it funny? Kinda. But I took no offense to it. It was just a tiny little shot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the whole explosion thing, I thought, was it being as bad as it was actually a blessing in disguise, because I tuned into AEW this week because I wanted to see what they were going to say about it. Like, it was so bad where Eddie Kingston basically died on top of Jon Moxley, and you're like, did you have a heart attack? Like, what happened to you? So I thought the whole thing, them blaming on Impact was just a joke here and there, but I didn't think it was a bad thing. I just thought it was, I don't know, I think it was, like you said, it was a funny little shot, and I don't think it actually hurt Impact or made Impact look bad. I just think it was something that was like, hey, here's just a funny little shot that we're going to do.
Yeah, and I touched on that, but I'll say my 2 cents in regards to that. The blessing in disguise thing kind of triggered it. The talk of AEW is they don't need us, which 120 plus countries, been around in the library we have, in the history. Come on. Okay, so we know what's real here. Now, as far as to get onto TNT or a larger scale, yeah, of course we need them. It's going to be synergy, but it's going to be both ways. But now what this does for us is says, okay, well, you can rag on us all you want, but now we're kind of even. Because we haven't had one of those moments. Yes, we have production issues, yes, but we haven't had something that big since maybe Dixie. I don't know if I said, or whoever. But it's, I believe an eye for an eye ends up making the whole world blind, right? So I'm not going to say anything. I won't use it. And when the kayfabe competition happens, World War III, whatever we want to call it, then I can use it and say go Impact. But we're about to hit the 7 o'clock hour, so I want to. This girl, I tell you, sorry, this is Dark Ellie. We'll call her. So at the 7 o'clock hour, we're stoked for Sacrifice. So let's get into Sacrifice. We can't wait for Lucha anymore. Lucha, oh, come on, man. But let's start at the bottom of the card and work our way through. I know someone's excited about Jordan. She loves Jordan. Exercise. Greg, you want to start with the match, and we'll go from there, bud?
Yeah. So let's go for the Knockouts Tag Team titles. Fire and Flavor taking on Jordan Grace and Jazz. Mixed feelings on that one.
Cody, want to start off?
Yeah. Okay, so we saw the match on Tuesday, right? How I did not like that match between Jazz and Tasha. It was slow. It was not mediocre, but it was still good. But it wasn't as good as it could have been. So Jazz is getting up there in age, and we're starting to realize how she's still a legend, but she's a bit slower in the ring.
Yeah.
So I don't know the end game of her being an Impact. Is it to gain the championships?
Mm-hmm.
that that she doesn't necessarily need. So I'm on Team Fire and Flavor for this one because Jordan and Jazz don't really need it, and if they do win it, what's next for them?
Right. Well, yeah, no, that's a great point, and that's no disrespect to her. I love Jazz; she's one of the goats, man.
I love Jazz as well.
Yeah, but honesty is honesty, and she know. I mean, it's not nothing she knows. She was retiring. It's not like Lucha's coming in. As you move that. Yeah, she is a legend, and you're right, a legend for a reason. That means you've been in the game and you've been able to stick in it for a certain reason. And it's because she's been badass since day one. My thing is, she just put out a thing saying taking bookings, letting the journey continue. Now, it doesn't mean she's not with Impact or this pre-taped pay-per-view tonight that she didn't win the titles, but history would show that it'd be silly to take them off Fire and Flavor right away.
Right.
At the same time, what I would like to see out of this, it would be nice if they lose and Jazz or Jordan turn on each other tonight. I always wanted a little rhythm in Fire and Flavor, and Jazz would add that. But even if it's not to join them and it's just kind of a brush off, so she does, ride onto Sunset and it's a one-on-one with her and Jordan, I'll be excited to see that and her get the right send-off. But if she sticks around in a veteran way, I'm okay with that too. But maybe the singles matches, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. It's way too early to take it off Fire and Flavor right now. If we found out, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, Fire and Flavor has like 6 million days left to go before they catch Eric Young and ODB. So I don't think they're losing the belt. Hopefully anytime soon, but definitely not this early. Like it just doesn't make any sense. They're too good of a tag team to just give it to Jordan and to give it to a tag team that to me isn't fully established. It just feels like it's thrown together. And to me, Jordan needs to be going after the Knockouts title or with someone that is a real partner for her that you can see as a long-term partner, not something to where it's like, hey, I'm retiring, let me come back and let me get one last run here. So I just feel like I don't think there's any way that Fire and Flavor should lose. I don't think they will lose them. Okay. But I definitely think that a turn with Jordan, with the because I think that's always a good one.
Well, there needs to be a write-off, and there also needs to be a reason for this to end for them. Because if they keep getting title shots and they're this close, why would they not continue? So there has to be something, and I hope that's that. Craig, are you in agreement, or?
Yeah, there's no way they should take the belts off Fire and Flavor now. It makes no sense. Jazz and Grace, they're a good tag team there, but they're still kind of getting their chemistry together. So there's no way you take the belts off Fire and Flavor. If you want to make this tag division, even though we're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel right now, not in terms of ability, but in terms of the roster, you can't take them off them now.
Yeah.
Because there's no one else to defend them against.
Yeah, we have to build up the prestige back of those because you would say what we will about it, and great people have held that belt. They were never, besides maybe the beautiful people, formed teams. Man, Sarita and Taylor eventually got matching gear and stuff, but we never felt like we had teams. And Fire and Flavor is that first team that feels polished.
Mexican American, Rosita and Sarita.
They won it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
No, Sarita's not a two-time champion.
They won it when they were with Mexican with Hernandez and Chavo.
Oh, I thought Sarita was a one-time with Taylor. All right, cool. The more you know. Yeah, they did. Thank you, Impact guy.
See, look at that. See, Impact guy. Look at Max knowing more than Geoff for the first time in my life.
He watches Impact Plus one time. And
you know when I watch Impact Plus, it's the Johnson's highlights that I'm going to.
All right, let's.
All right. Okay, so we have another tag team matchup. This time, James Storm and Chris Sabin with Jake Something at ringside take on Violet by Design's Joe Doring and Dina with Eric Young at ringside. That's to Geoff.
Yeah. So, look, man. As long as they all come out to their theme songs, this match can be the drizzling shits. Just because every song from these guys, all theme songs, I pop every time I hear VBDs now, or I hear James, of course, and Motor City as well. So it's just like boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, nostalgia and greatness. And we have a lot of TNAers in this match. Actually, help me get her. So I'm excited just to see the match. Here's the thing that I want to get away from, because it's one of the last narratives about us that I find true, credible, and annoying, is that our finishes, right? We have a lot of dusty finishes and stuff of that nature. So I hope the Jake and the Eric on this outside is just a ploy, or they get added to the match rather quickly. You know how referees like to do that. Oh, no, it's a 3-on-3. So, Sarita 2 times. Thanks, guys. Yeah, and James Gunn. Oh, yeah, is this his 1,000 match?
No, I think it's 999th, I believe.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Went away.
Well, I think VBD needs the win more, because at the end of the day, I think they need to be that no fucks given a group that just comes in, messes stuff up. You don't want to mess with them, right? Win or lose, they still, you know what you're going to get every time you're in the ring from them, or run into them backstage. And we need that if we're gearing up for a war, you know, with AEW. And I think that you need to keep building that commodity for it to happen. But I think they're above wins and losses, but they could use the win. Just hope James's 1,000 is a win at least.
James's 1,000 should be like him and Chris Harris are back together or something.
I don't think they can hear you.
Oh, if you guys can hear me. So I mean,
I can hear him.
okay. I mean, I agree with G. I think BBD needs the win more because they're a real team. So I like where James Storm and Saban are, but once Shelley's back to being alive again, he's going like Saban's going back with Motor City, so they're not. So giving them a bunch of wins doesn't make any sense, because eventually you're going to get to a point where, hey man, we've won 12 matches in a row.
Right.
Why are we splitting up again? So, and you know that's going to happen. So it makes more sense for VBD to win this. It makes more sense for maybe this to be a split for James Storm and Saban, and maybe it to lead into James Storm getting a new partner. Whether it's AMW or Bobby. No, Rude is still lost. So maybe he teams up with somebody else. But I think the AMW thing would be the best, and I just think that in general, that would be and that would be a great 1,000th match, is to have him reunite with Chris Harris.
That would be the tapings too, right? The new tapings. You said tapings.
Yeah, that would be the tapings, and Chris Harris is in Nashville,
so
they both live in Nashville, don't they?
I'm not certain. I know he's from Leaper Sport. Leaper
Sport, Tennessee. But yeah, so with the whole
Lucha.
Lucha's joining. I just saw him pop up.
Oh, I'll take care of that, Cody. You can go, bud.
So the match, I found it interesting how Eric Young is outside and Jake Something is outside. So I thought it was going to be a 3-way match with interruptions. Like Jake Something will get involved with Eric Young, and then either the ref will come and say, hey, you know what, we're going to make this a 3-way, or Scott's going to come out and say, we're going to make this a 3-way now, and it's going to be a street fight or some shit.
It's a mixed tag, player.
It's a mixed tag. So something's going to go down, because there's no reason why Jake Something needs to be out there.
Yeah, there has to be something more, right?
So, but if I were to say who's going to win this, I think it's going to be Storm and Saban, just because they're racking up victories to make his 1,000th match mean more.
Man. I love Storm and Saban, but they shouldn't really get the one here. If they really want to impact reputation.
Sorry.
Hey, he's having the whole TNA title.
I don't know what's going on here, guys.
The real TNA World Champion is here.
There's the real world champion.
Impact's history with factions obviously isn't great. So if they need to, Violent by Design need to win more, but I'd like to see Storm and Saban win it, but Violent by Design are going to win this one.
Sorry about all the technical stuff. We're here, we're talking, you guys, we're happy. Yeah, Gorillas of Destiny. Yeah, I agree with that. I think they would be for you know what Impact's really doing with this, and I know we're jumping off, but we're good on time right now. every division that we've complained about, them, I won't say complain, but saying, hey, they need to step it up, man. This division needs to, be rebuilt. They're doing that. And we're filling in the gaps of these losses with possible partnerships in the sense of the trading of talent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, Gorillas of Destiny, if they come in, or AMW comes back, our tag team division is rebuilt like that. When Shelly does come back, we're stacked, and now you could kind of see why the Rascals maybe thought that they couldn't get past that ceiling of the Good Brothers in Motor City, because maybe this has been in the play all along. I'm
sure that's why they left. I think there was poaching involved.
You said what?
I think there was poaching involved.
Poaching.
Whisper.
Yeah, let them make their money. Those marijuana smoking kids.
Damn right.
Lucha, you want to join us? We're talking about the 3-on-3 or 2-on-2 with the people on the outside.
We're talking about Violent by Design versus the Cowboy City Beer Guns.
Yes, sir.
Cowboy City Beer Guns. I like.
I'm going with VBD. Like y'all said, they're the ones going into this that needs the win a little bit more than Cowboy City, and I'm kind of keeping a little eye on this creep up to 1,000. I want to know how match 1,000 is going to go. My personal opinion, the 1,000th match will be the reunion of AMW.
Yeah.
Guilty.
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 Well, the tapings are coming up after Sacrifice, so if they wanted to call Chris Harris in, they have free range to do so.
Most definitely.
Okay, so there seems to be a lot of tag matches on this show, so let's just go for the tag matches. Next we have Decay versus Reno Scum.
Oh, don't make me pick.
Don't make me pick. This should be one of the easiest choices on the entire card.
And I Reno Scum.
Decay versus Reno Scum. If this match lasts longer than 3 minutes, I give it a high, good on you. This should be Black Toros coming in and running through them, and Crazy Steve just clapping on the side. And then Black Toro should pick up Crazy Steve and throw him on whoever is laying on the ground for the pin. That should be it. This should look like if Brock Lesnar took on the Brooklyn Brawler. That should basically be how competitive this match should be. It should be a stomping.
Yikes. So Max is predicting Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar for Decay versus Reno Scum. Got
Poke of Doom.
Basically that.
There's not much to say here. I respect Reno Scum. I think they could possibly do big things, but right now, them and Triple XL, maybe Triple XL to a lesser extent, are in that mid-card developed jobber status right now. They'll break through. When, I don't know. We definitely need another show for some of these people to show their talent. And, to their credit, they've always found ways to do that, and I think that's why the storylines have changed so much. Yeah, I hope they do push Reno Scum later, even if it was with Ace's group or VBD maybe even. But they deserve it. They've been around. They're great team players, great flag bearers for Impact. It's just right now might not be their time. But you always need those kind of tag teams. You always say it. You always need those singles or tag teams that you think could have a chance any given day, right?
They're gatekeepers.
Yeah,
like they're basically going to be people who will beat the people who don't deserve a title shot, and when you beat them, it shows we deserve a title shot. Unfortunately, I think Decay. Yeah, I think Decay is at that point where they clearly are building towards a title shot.
Yeah.
So I think it should be a dominant win for them.
Now, something we're not playing or not thinking about here is obviously that backstage promo with Decay and Reno and how it all set up. Yeah, it seemed a little quick and thrown in there. At the same time, you could say, well, Decay's not going to win this and go for the championship, the tag team championship. That just doesn't seem next. It could be more as far as developing Decay than this is about getting a win for Decay.
Can Reno Scum
That's
join
why I
Decay?
think Decay is going to win, because Decay is just not this newfound team, and Decay has a huger following than Reno Scum does. So they're gonna weigh on the team that's gonna get the most noise, which is Decay.
Watch on.
Which is so sorry because I love Reno Scum.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe they join Decay. Maybe they did
Yeah.
a gimmick change or something. And
Someone said something on the internet the other day about Reno Scum. It's because Adam Thornstowe is a medic that they're not getting pushed as much to main event status because he could be called away any minute.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
That's one thing before we pass up that I always mention on the show is if for our new time or first time listeners or whatever. Yeah, the Wolves as well. Yeah, I agree they'll be back. I lost my train of thought now.
Medic.
The medic. So basically, sorry, it's Treehouse. When you look at all this stuff and we're like, why does this person win? What happened here? Why did they leave us? We don't know. We think we know things. We put two and two together or make them the wrong. We come to the wrong equation, but we don't know. It could be because of that. What happens if he gets sick or has COVID? So there are those things like that we need to think outside the box on that we just can't control.
It could be as simple as him being like, "Hey, I want to wrestle for you guys, but because I have another job, I can't commit the way other people can." So, I mean, that's a real possibility.
Well, who knows?
I mean, if that's the case, then my only question would be, then why would Impact bring them in as a unit if at any given time half of that unit
Because they're a good fodder.
away?
They're a good fodder.
Also, in the same token, I do feel bad for Reno Scum because they've always been a circumstance of wrong time.
Yeah.
To me, they're a good tag team. They could be a force in the division, but every time they come in or make a return is also when the Good Brothers are making their debut or the North is squashing everybody and their mama. So it's like
GFW coming.
GFW.
I mean, weren't they the GFW tag champs and they were the ones that LAX beat to unify the belt?
Bro, not only that, the
Yes.
girl, the Toxin, that's when she was
Christina
with us.
Von
What was her
Eerie?
name?
Christy Von Airy or Christina.
She was
Von
their
Eerie.
women's
Christina Von
champion,
Eerie.
and they both just.
And she dropped it to Sienna and dipped.
But yeah, as far as
Man, I like her over Sienna.
Decay's winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going Decay.
I need to. I mean, I you know how I feel about Triple XL and Reno Scum deserving a bit more, but guess I have to buy my time on that one.
Yeah,
And
victim of circumstance.
two more tag matches. So get through those. Havoc and Nevaeh taking on Tennille and Caleb with a K.
All right.
They should rename this show Tagrifice because of the amount of tag matches on this damn card.
Did Teddy Long
booked this. Yeah, he's the.
I swear.
He comes out. Him and Rodney Mack, they come out.
Oh, so we getting a white boy challenge tonight?
What's that?
So we getting a white boy challenge tonight if Rodney
I
Mack
hope
comes
so.
through?
I hope it's Jordan and Jazz
Willie
just
Mack
beats
is
the
facing
shit
the
out of
Undertaker, you know. Willie Mack is facing the
Cost me
Undertaker.
the damn title.
Player.
Ellie found out too.
Yeah, my daughter thinks it's funny. No, she loves Jordan. It's weird. Yeah, this is one of those matches that I never say bathroom big. Out of respect, it's not because I still want to watch it. It's just not something that I'm as excited about. I am excited to see the storyline of Havoc and Nevaeh play out. If this is them building towards something stronger or breaking up, whatever it may be. But I really hope, and Max is going to chime in a second about it. I really hope this does not lead to another ODB and Eric Young.
Oh, come on.
No,
You killed my thing. I was going to say that this is our chance to see the future knockout tag team champions, Tennille and Caleb with a K. I mean, it's 2021. Men and women are equal. Why can't Caleb with a K,
Equality.
if he can't win the tag title against the Good Brothers, why not team up with his buddy Tennille and go after the knockouts title? Let's get it. Or at least they're probably going to be fed
If
to fire and flavor.
They're going to at least
that's
challenge.
what's likely
I don't
going to
know
happen.
about win.
I do think
if
it
they
will
do
lead
that,
to Caleb with a K and Tennille getting a tag title shot. I think that they will lose, and I think Caleb with a K will eat the pin.
Who wins tonight?
I think it's Caleb with a K and
Yeah.
Tennille.
You think they can win?
Yeah.
if they do that,
I like Havoc and Nevaeh, But I think we'll see. Sorry, Craig.
They said if they do that, they may as well just throw those tag titles in the bin. It's just a waste.
Let's spin this real quick. I want to hear everyone's point on this. To get Tenille over to that next level of heel, annoying but funny. Like, we all know that she's a heel, but she's kind of entertaining, right? Her and Caleb together especially. If they win this and then get a Knockouts tag team title shot, that's at least another established team. They don't win. They should not win.
They should not.
But that being the next up for Fire and Flavor when they don't have really formed teams, it's not a bad... I mean, who's going to job to them? Reno Scum? We already...
Okay, so here's I know I missed it, so let me go back. My personal prediction: I'm saying Jordan and Jazz win these titles. I think to help gain some credibility for the belts, we need a couple champions. We don't need the first champion to hold the belt forever. At least that's how I feel. They could eventually win them back. Like hell, they could lose them tonight, and then at the next tapings get them back. I'll be fine with that. I'll be perfectly fine with that. If going with the whole Tenille and Caleb winning, getting a shot at the belts, the better matchup would be Jordan and Jazz. Because you can imagine Caleb stepping up, trying to be badass with Jazz, and Jazz just knocks him on his
That
ass.
would be hilarious. That'd be a terrible.
Depending on their matchup, Tenille and Caleb would be credible challengers to the titles, depending on who they fight.
The one thing I would do, the Jordan and Jazz thing, though, feels like to me, especially if they win it so quickly, it feels like when, Anthem took over and then we gave the belts on our, Redemption, where we had Eli and Steiner for some reason as a team. And they're all,
Hey, that was
so I feel
See,
like...
I understand that title. I understand that title change because it was a part of the story with Conan.
Right, that's true.
So as long as there's an explanation behind it, I'll accept anything.
True. At least Jordan and Jazz have had build up, right? It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't have a prediction for this match. I don't have a to say. I think Tenille and Caleb are going to win because it's going to end to the inevitable split of Havoc and Nevaeh, even though they shouldn't split up because they're a team. But that seems like the storyline is going. Nevaeh wants to go her separate ways.
I'm not surprised that they're splitting up because they never even had a damn team name, even though they have a team name.
Yeah.
Have Naya wasn't their team name?
Killer Death Machines, but they don't use it.
Killer Death Machines.
I'm just like, why? Like,
Crazy,
I know
crazy.
Kiera and Tasha, they were known as Kiera and Tasha up until like the build up, until like the finals were already set for the titles, and then they became Fire and Flavor. I was expecting the same thing to happen for KDM, and that just didn't go.
Kira and
All right. Yes, just keep it moving. So final tag match of the night will be the Impact World Tag Titles, the Good Brothers taking on New Japan's Finn Juice. Who wants to start on that one?
I'll take it.
Ah.
Can I take it real quick so I can get her out of here? Mine's gonna be short and sweet. Good Brothers, 1, 2, 3. No bullshit. Just a good match. That's it.
Short and simple, short and
Tony,
sweet.
what's your
I mean,
thought?
the man of his word.
I think New Japan's winning this.
You think New Japan? You think
What?
Finn Juice is beating the Good Brothers?
I second
Yeah.
that.
What?
Yeah.
I agree.
What, are you 3 high?
Exposure, dude. Exposure. You bring titles onto New Japan Strong, and you're not only having it on Impact, you're also having it on NJPW Strong. The show taped in the States.
I just can't see it. Like the Good Brothers being teamed with Kenny Omega as champions is such a huge thing because right now, and Jeff and I have talked about it, the Good Brothers aren't Impact. They're teamed with Kenny. That's what they are. They're technically Bullet Club until the real Bullet Club shows up and beats their ass. And what a better way than the real Bullet Club to show up in Pillars of Destiny than to show up and challenge for that title. And they're not going to do it because to mop the floor with Finn Juice.
Yeah,
They will do it to mop the floor with Anderson and Gallows because they're claiming to be Bullet Club. when they're really not.
The one thing I will say with that more than not because you guys freaking got me here. Wonder if Finjuice loses, and then the Good Brothers say, "New Japan, you could send whoever you want at us. Ain't gonna happen." And Gorillas of Destiny come out. So it could happen today. It could happen at the tapings. But I think that happens.
You got Kenny O'Shega, the middle-aged Bucks. I mean, yeah, the Good Brothers are winning with the greatest tag team finisher in wrestling right now, the Magic Killer, even though Geoff hates it. Next.
I'm saying that Finjuice takes this win pretty much linked up with what all y'all were saying about God and the Good Brothers. This helps further that rivalry. Finjuice wins the tag titles from the Good Brothers, takes them away from Impact to New Japan. Guess who's waiting for him? God. And God snatches the belts right from Finjuice, like with the swiftness.
I won't acknowledge.
So then you got God all on Twitter. They're like, hey, you want it? You know where we are.
If they're coming to take it, they got to take it from the Good Brothers.
That's the equivalent of British Invasion winning the IWGP.
Just see, my thought on this is that Finjuice won the tag titles on Impact, right? Or tonight, they take them to New Japan. The Good Brothers then go to Japan to beat and take the titles from them, which then brings out the Gorillas of Destiny. Because as far as I'm aware, Tonga and Tangaloa are both still in Japan, and it'll take a lot for them to get over to the States, quarantine and all that. It'll take less for the Good Brothers to be there for a fortnight before going to New Japan, and then beating them there.
I thought GOD's in the States.
They're supposedly coming to the States to be with their family and stuff because they've been away for a while and they've been stuck there. So we'll see. I think that's a matter of
they're gonna come live with Kenta.
All right, we're already at 7:30. What's the next one while we look up that?
Yeah, so let's go for the X Division Championship. TJP taking on Ace Austin.
Lucha.
Actually, Lucha rubbing his hands, so let's go Lucha.
I can't predict this one.
If there's any way that this match can be injected into my bloodstream, I suggest y'all figure this out and get back to me. I completely forgot that TJ's first rivalry returning to Impact was with Ace. I don't know how that slipped my mind. So that factor doubled up with both of their movesets. This is going to be a damn good fight, and your winner and new X Division champion for the second time is going to be Ace. That's what I got.
Yes, it's inevitable.
It is.
I think it's going to be TJP.
Okay.
Because why else have that interaction with Josh Alexander on Tuesday?
Yeah.
To hype up the fact that match made the top 10 X Division title matches of all time.
They could. Yeah.
True, but Josh Alexander says I'm coming for it next.
Look,
That could be Ace. He beat Ace.
the fact that Bay's not in this match blows my mind. First of all, I want to say that
Right?
I was confused on why he won and then not even on the show. So maybe are you right?
Yeah.
So
I can
TJ can
explain
get
that.
money. TJ can get paid.
I can explain that for you,
So
Jeff.
I like TJP as a wrestler. I like him as the X Division champion. But I think the Bay Ace Austin match from Impact with Bay winning sets up too well for Ace Austin to win, and then maybe not them having a feud right away, but eventually that being the feud for the title is Ace Austin versus Chris Bay, and that'll be. I mean, those guys can wrestle for 5 straight pay-per-views for all I care.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it every single time.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
We were talking about that just now off air, or before this, and we really feel like that triple threat of TJP and Bay and Ace.
Yeah.
Maybe not TJP, maybe
With
Trey
Trey.
in there because of age. Those could be our Samoa Joe, AJ Daniels for a long time if they stick with the company.
Maybe TJP's Kazarian.
TJP's there. No, TJP is manic. But I like TJP. I think he's a bigger star. I think he works better as a heel. But as far as this match goes, I see Ace winning. I agree with Cody on the sense of why set those up. It could just be a match in general because they realized it was a banger of a match. But there's just too much, I feel like, in that's hard because I was dead set on Ace. But with the TJP thing, he's had way too many interactions with Leo Rush, a bunch of other people that have called him out in that same kind of genre of X Division. So it would just make sense if he kept it, especially with his name value. And unfortunately, when we're in negotiations, obviously we don't know what happens backstage. But if I'm negotiating with New Japan or AEW on who's going to win this match, TJP would probably get the nod over an Ace Austin from all three, at least, in my eyes, just because of
I see
stats.
that.
But who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. Ace Austin's been coming up. I think
Ace Austin's the man.
I think that if he wins it and then you have one of these where you're like, hey, we want to push our guys, like our home, I want to say home built, but homegrown. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Our homegrown guys in this Impact versus New Japan versus AEW. I think giving it to Ace Austin and saying, hey, this is the guy of all the people that you can have job out to him. We're not letting our Ace Austin doing it.
No,
He's going to win, and it's just going to boost him even higher.
Yeah, it's just a matter of should Ace Austin win? I can't say that. Could he win? And will he win? That's probably a yes. It's just a matter of perspective. It depends on which way you want to go with these titles. Who do you want to represent us? Is it the new shining star that we're trying to push, or the guy that is just, like him or hate him, is putting on classics every time he wrestles?
Damn good matches.
All right.
30 minutes to the
I'm still
show.
here. Yeah. Yeah. So
What's up?
try and keep this one as short as we can. Hold harmless match. Eddie Edwards versus Brian Myers. Basically no DQ. Have at it.
Eddie Edwards next.
Eddie Edwards wins.
Eddie Edwards.
Oh,
Okay, we're all good at Eddie. Cool.
Well, you said keep it quick. I don't know what a hold harmless match is.
It's a no holds barred match, but because Impact can't use it because WWE uses that name.
It's not a Full Metal Mayhem.
That's basically what it is.
Why they couldn't just say like no
It's a
DQ?
no holds
No
barred.
DQ.
You know, the thing is,
Well,
the thing in
not all that
wrestling is
crap.
branding. So no matter what your match type is, it's got to be something that can be branded. That's why Tommy Dreamer takes it old school every 5 minutes.
That's true. That's a good point. Ravens. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see Eddie Edwards winning this unless it is something that another weird, wonky finish where we eventually lead to a bigger picture with these two guys. Or four guys, depending if Cardona's that helper, and then you got Wolves.
That'd be interesting.
I actually changed my pick. I'm going Myers because of interference from Cardona, who will finally link up with Myers, and the
I would
Major
like that because
Brothers
it'd be a
come
real
back.
tag team.
There you go. And then we can get the Wolves versus the Major Brothers at Rebellion.
And this feud.
David Richards needs to come back. Needs to come back.
I agree.
Knockouts title time. Deonna Purrazzo versus ODB.
I love ODB, but Deanna's winning this.
Lucha?
Okay, disclaimer. Deonna Purrazzo is one of, if not the greatest women's wrestlers in the world right now. Her reign as Knockouts champion is one of the best we've seen in quite some time.
Well, no, Taez was better.
I go.
It was longer.
Yes, Taya held it for a year, but I mean, she was fighting fucking Big Mommy and Maddox's reign. I mean, I give the slight nod to Deonna because of the quality of opponents, but Deonna's coming off the belt because Susan's gonna get pissed. I've been waiting for this for months, and I think tonight is the night that Susan goes sue. Susan goes sue tonight, or that starts, and it's gonna start by Deonna being cost the title. So ODB will be 6-time knocked up champ.
5 times.
Well, real quick though, do you see Deonna losing it quickly second time. She's then winning it back a quick third time. Is she going to be the Charlotte Flair of this, where she quick reigns just so she could get her number up?
No, I think they obviously had to do some scrambling when Kylie left. That's how Sue got thrown into the whole thing. So I'm thinking now they're actually giving the rivalry time to build to something. So after Deonna loses the belt, she's going to be out of the title picture at least until about Bound for Glory, in my opinion. If I had the book, I would let Deonna deal with Sue and all that. Maybe even dabble in the Knockouts tag division. That would be another good team that'll beat Jordan and Jazz for the belts is Deonna and Kimber.
Yeah. Kimber, yeah. Unleash Kimber.
So I mean,
Unleash Kimberly.
It's great that Deonna's pretty much been champ since not day one. I give it day 3. She's been champ since like day 3, which has been great, and her run has been phenomenal. But it's time.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge
it's
that,
time.
by the way. Impact Guy 33. I hope Kylie does come back, man. She's too talented not to. But I will say this as someone who commonly talks about mental health and stuff. I'm 34 years old and now just getting my brain together. She's 23?
Yeah,
23 if that.
This year,
was going to be, our champion after having kind of a shit run. Like, that's epic for her. On top of that, you find out the plans that you're going to be Miss Marvel in AAA. Like, that's a lot of pressure.
and she's getting married. On top of all that, she's also getting married. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, Knockouts getting married, ruining the damn division.
Oh man. Last question.
Oh, it gets cancelled. It gets cancelled. Shit. Move.
But yeah, to wrap it up, I say I think Deonna keeps it.
I agree. I think Deonna keeps it. I just think that it makes too much sense. And I think her reign's been good. And I think her as champion, I think her just continuing that reign just makes sense. And I agree. I think she needs more competition. And I don't think you get her more competition by giving the belt to ODB. I think you let her win and then build more people within that division to.
Yeah, I'd like to see, even if she doesn't hit Taya's numbers, I'd like to see her be recognized as a knockout, one of the best knockouts of all time.
Yes.
And then also though, going to that point, because I agree, and this is more than just the Knockouts belt, this is every belt. Who's the last person you can think of that's won a belt in Impact more than twice?
Well, they usually right after, right? So at least
exactly. So I want to
Suicide has
stuff these reigns up. Yeah, he also has a couple different people under the mask for each title run.
And 2 oven mitts.
You can't prove that. I've never seen him unmasked.
AC Romero.
No, he unmasked as Austin Aries on Impact one week.
Okay, so
And then TJ came out with his head down. Oh, it's me.
No, man,
And,
that's my man.
Sorry,
Quickly on Suicide. Who was it on that one night only? That short wrestler who came out. You got eliminated. It was some sort of tournament. You got eliminated early on, but came out on Suicide.
Huey Styles.
I think it might be his name.
No, it's not his name.
He's
I'm talking
No,
about
he's-
Hornswoggle. The guy who
something
does-
along those lines. It was along those
I thought
lines.
Gresham had played him at one point.
I think he did.
I thought.
Gresham's pretty short.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking Gresham.
Yeah, I think Gresham did on the one night
He
only.
was really
Because
thick.
then he got signed by ROH.
Yeah.
It's Jordan's husband.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gresham's
so
kind of short. So
yeah, that makes sense. You're quite stuck. Yes, yeah. So main event
Oh,
time.
main event.
Moose. Yeah. TNA World Title, Impact World Title Unification match. Moose versus Rich Swann. Who wants this one?
Oh man.
I will go ahead and
I
start.
want to go last.
As I said, there are 2 ways that this should end. I'm predicting that Swan wins with interference from either the Good Brothers or Omega to set up the Swan versus Omega
Rematch.
Unification
Well,
one-on-one. Because that match one-on-one, just I know we have talked about it. I don't
that's
think
what
we
we
have one here. Yeah, Rich Swann doesn't like Kenny Omega dwarfs him in terms of presence, but that match would be a fucking banger. And I think you reward Rich Swann with a one-on-one match against Kenny Omega to see if he can go. And or not to see if he can go, but just to say, hey, go out there and put on a great match.
I just don't want a wonky finish. I just want a clean.
I mean, I don't. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe he just pins Moose straight up, but I just think that if you're looking at long-term storytelling, a wonky finish with Swann winning gives you a better long-term story because he can lose clean to Omega after a great match. Omega can defend the title twice, and then Moose can beat him straight up to regain the Impact, like the glory of Impact. And that's the long-term booking that I think will happen. Outside of there being like a three-way thing, so I think it's going to be Swann. I think that's going to be your long-term booking. So that's what I'm going with.
Who wants to go next?
I'm pretty much on Max. Oh, you want to go, Craig? Go.
I just have one theory on it. It's that this match ends in either double DQ, double count, however. Then at Rebellion we have a triple threat, and whoever, say if Omega pins Swann, Omega becomes the Impact World Champion, not the TNA World Champion. Because if Omega's taking the belt off TV for a little bit, we need a world title on TV. And if it can be the TNA title, I'm happy with that.
That's a good way. Now, my thing with that, and I'll pass to Cody before I say my opinion, though. But with that makes sense. That makes sense. But as far as tonight goes, that I'm hyped for Sacrifice Saturday, March 13th tonight at 8 o'clock. I want a clean finish. I don't want to have a pay-per-view where my Twitter feed after this is flooded with they can't even get a finish right. Oh, whatever. Moose or we ride?
Yeah.
All right, Cody, you go, bud. I'll go last on this.
I'm pretty much the same way. These two are physical specimens, and a clean finish needs to be set in stone because this is an important match, and an important match like this needs to have a clean finish winner. As for prediction-wise, I don't know. It could be either one. But on my Twitter feed, it says Moose, so I'm going to go with Moose.
Lucha?
Okay, I agree with every reason why Rich Swann should win, but I'm going Moose because we've been grooming Moose for years.
In the good way.
Years. Yeah. The man hasn't lost a match on pay-per-view since his world title match with Aries at Slammiversary 2018. His only loss has come by virtue of himself saying, I quit, I got what I want. So the kid's been on a roll, and I don't feel like it'll be good for him to lose now.
Do you think it's going to be good for him to be fed to Omega?
Especially hold on. Especially during negotiation season, as this is with Moose. I don't think it'll be good for him to lose. So I'm saying Moose wins. I'm side note saying that the merged belt is something in vein of this.
Cut off those top wings and we got a deal.
Make it from eagle to owl. From eagle to owl.
All right.
Now, past this, Moose beats Kenny Omega.
What?
I fucking said it.
You're fucking high.
Hey, you know what? That actually makes sense.
The Canadian heartthrob Kenny Omega is not losing his AEW championship.
All right.
Not with Don
And
Callis.
there's no way in hell.
Kenny,
There's no way in hell AEW have their champion losing their belt on someone else's show. Tony Khan is too much of an egotistical, for that to happen.
Here's my point though. Don Callis, an executive for Impact Wrestling. Kenny Omega, an employee of All Elite Wrestling. Moose, an employee of Impact Wrestling. After Kenny Omega, who's another wrestler that Don Callis loves the shit out of?
It's Moose.
And like I said, this is negotiation season. And I mean, if Moose beats Kenny Omega, who's going to say that Moose didn't deserve it?
No.
Right.
Oh, you go and then I'll say my piece.
No, I just want to say right.
Oh.
Go on.
So here's the way you guys all dissected all the ideas that have gone through my head. One, I will say I'm betting on black. So it's a, Vegas odds. Safe bet. But jokes aside, I don't think at the end of the day, I will say what I say about Rich about being dwarfed. They're not ready for that championship yet. But I am proud to have either of them as my champion. For not only for the people they are, but the stars I think they will become, or Moose, who's already, I believe, literally a pissing distance away. So my actual Craig, do you have something?
I was just saying, carry on, but I was just to say at the end.
Yeah, so I agree with Lucha in the sense of if anyone is to beat Kenny Omega, and it's going to be by everyone's decision. It has to be. Don Callis, everybody, right? It's going to be Moose. Do they pull that trigger now, especially if they drop that little hint of, oh, it's working right to our plan? No, I think that plan gets revealed, unfortunately, which would mean a Rich win or title keeping here, and then, unfortunately, a loss to Kenny Omega. Now, it could work that way. At the same time, I think Moose is already signed.
Yeah,
I really think he has. Now, I don't want them to give the title to someone who's leaving, so in my mind, he's signed, and I'm going to stick with that. If they give him this championship, both of them, what match do I rather, or what one, excites me more? Moose versus Omega. Now, Swan versus Omega will be a classic. It will be. I think either match could be a classic. But Moose is our guy. And to Lucha's credit, it's Ace, Bay, Moose, and probably Trey. That's Callis's dudes.
And then to throw this little nugget, if Moose loses at tonight, Hard to Kill would have been for no reason.
Yeah, with all these moving parts, though, it could have been something that's lost in the shuffle. Either way, that's shitty. But to say that, but yeah, we don't know what's.
Can I counter that? Say if Moose wins tonight, right? Can you really enjoy that world title win, knowing there's a 95% chance he could lose to Kenny Omega at Rebellion?
He's not signed.
There's 95%. Can you really enjoy that title win, knowing he's probably going to lose to Omega?
If Moose wins tonight and then goes up against Omega, we'll really find out if he's signed or not.
That's fair.
The match of Rebellion will tell them the result of Rebellion.
I still think his contract is up till summer.
Will tell us if he's not already.
There is always the option that he wins and Moxley interferes to cost Omega everything. Because so far, at least from what I can remember, every time Kenny Omega has beaten Moxley, it's been because of interference. What a slap in the nuts if Moxley interferes to help Moose win and cost Kenny Omega the AEW championship. That would be, and because then, although AEW wouldn't have their champion on their show, and I'm sure Moose would still show up, your top feud is still going to be Kenny Omega versus Moxley. And at that point, do you need a title for that to carry a pay-per-view? Probably not. So you could actually go with Moose having the title, defending it once, and then losing it back to somebody from AEW, and still the Kenny Omega Moxley feud carrying everything. So that's obviously a possibility.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, but as far as wants, pure wants, not prediction, but Moose. I would love to see Moose anointed as Impact, Mr. Impact for real. Sorry, Craig, but the real Mr. Impact wrestling.
Impact blog,
oh, right.
So. As long as Moose doesn't start blogging, it's still good.
Yeah.
So I think
it's got the ball pointing that out.
Well, we got 10 minutes to wrap up. Let's end this in 5, just so everyone could get comfortable, get your popcorn ready,
get your kids to bed,
get Treehouse ready,
and watch this show. So, match of the night. What are we all looking forward to the most?
I think match of the night is Ace Austin versus TJP.
Ace and TJ.
Something happened on ESPN. Hold on, let's see if it's Impact related.
Ace and TJP. I second that.
Marvin Hagler.
Moose versus Rich. I think is
Oh.
gonna be a banger too.
Canelo Caleb with a
Those
K.
are the two
stealing the
matches.
show.
The K and what now?
No,
Ignored.
no. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go Swan and Moose. I think that's gonna be the match of the night. Is Swan and Moose.
I agree.
Yeah. Craig, yours?
Ace and TJ.
Agree. Yeah, I'm really.
Sleeper match will be Good Brothers versus Finn Juice.
Yeah,
That's
that
going
could
to
be
be the
sneakily
sleeper.
good. I mean, you give the Good Brothers 15 minutes
They're great.
of unedited, no commercial. They'll go. Obviously, I mean, come on, it's not. They're still the Good Brothers. We forget that sometimes because they're here. They're there. They're everywhere.
And there are a lot of jokes.
And there's a lot of jokes.
Yeah, but they can go.
But they could go, and so yeah, I agree with you there too. I think it's going to be a sneakily good. It's a sneakily good pay-per-view top to bottom for Impact Plus. Let's knock on wood as far as production goes. Let's hope it goes smoothly.
Hopefully, no AEW people are in there running anything behind the
Yeah.
It's pre-taped. It'll be fine.
Well, the feed, man. Sometimes I get an Impact Plus to watch these live, and it just doesn't.
It's Impact Plus.
Right.
Impact Plus has been perfect for me every
What
week.
are you watching on?
Fight.
Oh, fight. He watches a fight.
I know you live over on the wrong side of the world, but we don't have that ability here. In the good old US of A.
Fight Impact Plus.
Yeah. So yeah, we got any other questions that we can answer from the group or from you guys? Is there something you want to know each other's opinion on?
See what you got.
What are how do y'all think? Okay, predictions of this merged championship if there is one.
Like as what it looks like?
Yeah, if there is there one and what do y'all think it would look like? Would it be like a merger between the current Impact World titles and the TNA title? Will it be something where they take the
I hope so.
first title?
I hope it's the big gold belt with some color added to it. Nice Impact logo, red, some jewels like the old Booker T Legends one.
I just hope they take that TNA title and keep that. White strap and all, man. That shit is beautiful.
And Max, to go to your point, with the screwy finish and the triple threat at Rebellion, that would be the best way to keep the TNA belt active and eventually drop down to another mid-card belt. The belt doesn't go away.
Yeah, Craig mentioned that. I think that's a great point, and I think we could very well see that tonight.
I mentioned before a couple weeks ago that I really think especially if they're doing a true crossover between New Japan, Impact, and AEW, and maybe NWA if they're dead, they need to have an inter-promotional belt that is basically just defended across all promotions with all people. So you can just do whoever. It doesn't have to be. I mean, unfortunately, they're getting rid of the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. That would have been the perfect belt to use. It's the Intercontinental. It's going to be defended in Japan.
Yeah, but it's under New Japan's banner.
But I'm saying you could rename it, but some type of create or something. Create a belt
or global.
Yeah, create a belt that is defended on all three brands.
The openweight title.
Best. So you still have your main title. So, but we'll see.
Craig, I'm gonna throw back to you. About a minute left.
It's just saying the openweight title. It's the name's there. There's no IWGP on it. It's the openweight title.
Yeah.
Defend it wherever you want.
We'll figure it out. But we got a minute
Mike
left.
G's not here, so I can say it. Bring back the Grand
Yeah,
Championship.
I just want it to be white strap. That's all that matters. I want to thank Lucha, Cody, Craig as always, Max, and my little girl over there.
Say
It was
hello.
fun, guys. Enjoy Sacrifice. We'll try to live tweet the best we can. Make sure you hit us up. And thank you for tuning in. Look at that beauty. There we go. I'm at the bell.
Gorgeous. And Lucha, you're beautiful.
And Lucha too. Just beautiful. All right, guys.
Oh, thank you, man.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later.
Later, guys.
Later.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.